Hello and welcome to Verdict 2016, your daily roundup of all the election news from the poll-bound states. I'm Ishan Russell and these are the headlines that we are tracking. Kerala Chief Minister Oommen Chandy unveils the UDF's manifesto ahead of the elections in the state. He promises new measures to make the state's liquor policy foolproof. Manifesto also promises bicycles and laptops for students and homes for all. Elaborate arrangements in place ahead of the third phase of polling in West Bengal, voting to begin at 7 a.m. and to go on till 6 p.m. Fate of 418 candidates to be decided in this phase. And we throw the spotlight on the Detroit of South Asia, Chennai. With 16 assembly seats in the city, parties are going all out to woo the voters of the capital. All right, first up, news from Kerala. Now, promising new measures to make its liquor policy foolproof, the ruling United Democratic Front released its manifesto for the upcoming Kerala Assembly elections. The UDF has decided not to issue bar licenses to 3-star and 4-star hotels that secure 5-star status from the central government. The manifesto also ensures homes for everyone in the coming 5 years if the government returns to power. The 63-page document released by Chief Minister Oommen Chandy in the presence of leaders of the front, among other things, promises free bicycles to 8 standard girl students and laptops at concessional rates to students in government and government-aided colleges. It also focuses on the growth of the agriculture sector with special emphasis on rubber farmers and promises interest-free loans to farmers as well. Subsidy to organic farming, steps to check price rise of essential commodities and 3-cent land free to landless people are some of the promises of the UDF. All right, shifting focus now to West Bengal. An electorate of 1.3 crore will decide the fate of 418 candidates, including 34 women, in the 62 seats spread across Murshidabad, Nadia, Burdwan districts and North Kolkata on Thursday. Trinamool Congress, Left Congress Alliance and the BJP are expected to put up a tough fight in all the seats. Key contestants in this phase include Trinamool Congress ministers Shashi Panja and Sadhan Pandey, BJP National Secretary Rahul Sinha, 5-time Congress MLA Mohammad Shorab, CPIM MLA Anisur Rahman and retired IPS officer Nazrul Islam. Trinamool Congress has been facing the heat with its President and Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee having been served a show-cause notice by the Election Commission over an alleged violation of the Model Code of Conduct. The EC has also transferred a number of IAS and IPS officers, including Kolkata's Police Commissioner Rajiv Kumar. Meanwhile, elaborate arrangements have been made on the eve of the third phase of polling. Around 60% of the polling stations in Kolkata, which will go to the polls tomorrow, have been identified as vulnerable. All of the 505 polling stations, of which 288 were vulnerable, will be manned by the Central Paramilitary Forces during polling on Thursday. And I'm joined by Manas Banerjee, special correspondent at the Dainik Agradut of Assam, to help us understand, as far as the elections tomorrow in West Bengal are concerned, Manas, explain to us the critical nature of this particular phase, who's in the fray, and given what's happened in the first 2 phases, what can we expect tomorrow?
Ishanji, only a few days back, it was predicted that Mamta Banerjee and TMC is coming with a very big margin and capturing power in West Bengal. But the situation has been totally changed just today and yesterday, you can say, from yesterday. When Mamta Banerjee Chief Minister received this fresh notice from the Chief Election Commissioner, and at the same time she is facing challenges from both sides, from the opposition side as well as from her own party men. That's that Mukul Rai is one time actually he was the right-hand man of Mamta Banerjee. Only over the sting operation, he has categorically said that the sting operation, the faces of the ministers, MPs and MLAs were seen in the sting operation, taking bribes, taking monies. But that MPs and ministers, they didn't take the money for their own interest. It is taken only for the interest of the party. And let there be
So he's accepting the fact that they will set the money.
Yes. He said that let there be thorough investigation, facts will come out. So that is actually indication is towards Mamta Banerjee. So that is the first channel. Secondly, another person, there is a veteran person, politician. He was having a long association with CPIM, Rajak Mullah. So he is contesting from Bangor. So he joined only 2 months back. He joined Trinamool Congress.
Right.
Now he has abused just all the film stars. Even Moon Sen, the MP, he has abused, used derogatory remarks against Moon Sen, against Rupa Ganguly of BJP, and now all the intelligentsia in West Bengal, they protested vehemently, and now Mamata Banerjee is also facing another challenge from this. Whether she is a chief minister, Mohila chief minister, woman chief minister, how these things are happening there.
All right.
That is the thing, she is facing challenges from inside and outside.
All right, talking about the outside challenge, we spoke about Kerala where the left and the Congress are contesting each other. In West Bengal, they're presenting a combined front. How is that being viewed by the people over there?
Now, you see, the situation is actually gone out of the control of Mamata Banerjee. Now, the situation is totally different. Now, Election Commission has given some list of 6 IPS officers and 6 IS officers. That is 6 DM and 6 IPS officers will be SPs will be transferred during the election tomorrow and after also. So now that Congress and CPM, they were losing grounds earlier. Now they have got an arms ammunition. You can say that regarding the revolt of Mukul Rai and also the abuse using of derogatory remarks by Rajak Mullah, they are taking this issue as a major issue and they are campaigning on that ground.
All right, so would this be an indication that corruption, which, from the Sharda scam to other things, there have been allegations against the TMC, that now finally in the third phase could be becoming an issue?
Definitely. Definitely the third phase. Corruption it is a rampant corruption is going on. You see Saroda, Rose Valley, and after Saroda, Rose Valley, the Naroda Kand came. The Naroda, it is openly, Saroda and Rose Valley actually, the allegation was there, Supreme Court ordered the CBI inquiry, CBI was inquiring, but it is so slow that not a single person has been already handled. 2 or 3 persons are in jail.
Right.
You even see Mukul Rai was sidelined and he has again came back. Now he is also revolted against Mamata Banerjee.
Right.
Now I am telling you, Sarada scam, Rose Valley scam and this sting operation, that is the major issue in the town areas, city areas, not in the villages. The villages, there are no television sets are there, no newspapers are going there, remote villages. But in the town, tomorrow is the election is going on in Nadia, that is a town area, Nadia,
North Kolkata,
Murshidabad and Vardhaman and North Calcutta. So North Calcutta, in Calcutta it will definitely effect.
All right, so, but if you talk about the polling arrangements, you mentioned the fact there have been a number of transfers that perhaps are helping the opposition at this juncture. So in terms of the administration and the fairness of the poll itself, the EC having to step in and ensure that there are free and fair polling.
You see, there actually never before in the history of elections such a major, and actually such an extent, violence was there. Earlier also 34 years, during the CPM rule, we have noticed was major violence is there. But this time, it has crossed the limit actually. This time it is crossed. Every day it is happening. Murder, corruption, murder and this booth capturing. Every day you see. And killing and opponents' houses are being actually set on fire. Every day it is happening. Now today also somebody, 2 persons have been killed from CPM side. So, this is happening now. Mamata Banerjee, everybody expected that she would come for a change. Now the change did not provide any result actually.
Okay.
That change is no more.
Okay.
The changes means CPM
so that
has...
Parivartan that she had come on is missing this time around.
CPM has left. Actually, CPM has given 2 gifts to Mamata Banerjee. One is the major loan, this 1,25,000 loan burden on Mamata Banerjee. That is a presentation by CPM to Mamata Banerjee. And another, the formula of rigging and violence that has been given to Mamata Banerjee. She is running on she is following the same footsteps of CPIM.
Interesting fact that you made over there. Not much difference now between the left and the TMC.
No difference.
And interesting, every phase the poll seems to be changing. Manas Banerjee, thank you very much for coming in and helping us understand the polls in West Bengal a little better. We'll ask you to come back again and talk to us tomorrow as well once West Bengal goes to the polls. Thanks so much for that. Well, moving on now with elections just a few days ago, candidates at the Jadhav constituency are campaigning in full swing to promote themselves and their party. However, the common people have a completely different story to say. Take a look at the story.
Residents of Jadhavpur say, for them these assembly elections are all about the development of the state. While some feel the TMC government has been able to change things for the better, others are not too sure. While the Trinamool government gets good marks for its efforts to provide proper roads and electricity supply, the problem area, it has not been able to tackle unemployment.
প্রবলেম কিছু এখন আর সেট করছি না। আগে যে 35 বছর যে করেছে রাজে, তো তারপর যে মমতা এসে 5 বছর সে আর মেয়ে ছেলে কত করবে, যা করেছে অনেক করেছে। আমাদের রাস্তা করে দিয়েছে, লাইট এনে দিয়েছে।
ছেলেপুলেদের লেখাপড়া দিয়ে একটু নজরটা দিলেই হলো। বাচ্চারা যারা লেখাপড়া করছে, তারপরে যারা শিক্ষিত হয়ে বসে আছে তাদের কোনো চাকরি বাকরি তো জীবনে নেই।
Trinamool candidate Manish Gupta is quite confident about what the election results will reveal. According to him, the current government has managed to do things that the left failed to do in 3 decades. In contrast, CPIM candidate Dr. Sujan Chakraborty is quite categorical that the TMC has done everything possible to destroy the culture and values of West Bengal.
In 4.5 years, we have been able to make rapid progress in this regard. And we have provided many facilities to the people of this area, including water supply, uninterrupted power supply.
Definitely people understand even better than we people. They don't understand lesser than us. They are developing Gadbandhan among themselves. It's called Mahajot of people, and definitely this government will go.
Both candidates claim their sole objective is to work for the development of the state. The ball now is in the people's court to decide whether or not to seek a change in power. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now coming back to Kerala, it's the leading producer of rubber in the country, with 90% of India's natural rubber coming from the southern belt. But due to the global economic slowdown, the rubber prices have crashed to an all-time low, resulting in small and marginal farmers facing one of the toughest times of their lives. Neeru Vyas brings us the special report from the rubber belt of Kottayam.
Terian has been growing rubber in Kottayam for the last 40 years, but never before has he seen a financial crisis like what he has faced since 2013. Once an owner of 30 acres of rubber plantation, now he's left with just 2 acres as he had to sell his plantations due to the global crash in rubber prices.
നമ്മുടെ ലോൺ എടുത്തൊന്നും വീട്ടാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല, വീട് പണി നടക്കുന്നില്ല, പിള്ളേരെ കോളേജ് സ്കൂളിലൊക്കെ ആക്കിയതാണ്. അതൊക്കെ മിക്കവാറും ഇനി വിളിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് പോരുക നടക്കുള്ളൂ. മുന്നോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ നിവൃത്തിയില്ല, പൈസ കിട്ടുന്നില്ല, ഒരു തരത്തിൽ ഇത് മുന്നോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല.
1 acre of rubber used to fetch around 250 rupees. After the crash, the prices have come down to less than 100 rupees. Like Terian, almost 11 lakh rubber cultivators have either shifted to other crops or have been forced to sell off their land.
जिला एरिया में थोड़ा अच्छा खेती होने से सब खेती में रबर प्लांटेशन कर दिया. अभी खाना का फूड से एकदम कम नहीं मिलता है. ये रबर में पैसा नहीं मिलने से सब लोग गरीब बन जाएगा, जल्दी गरीब बन जाएगा.
പൊരുത്തപ്പെടുന്നില്ല. പകുതി പിന്നെ ഒരു 75% ടാപ്പിംഗ് ചാർജും മറ്റ് 500 എല്ലാം കൂടെ വരുമ്പോഴത്തേനും 80-90% ചിലവാകും. പിന്നെ 10% കിട്ടുന്നത്. മറ്റേ ന്യായമായിട്ട് ഒത്തൊരു കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഒരു ന്യായമായ പ്രതിഫലം കിട്ടിക്കൊണ്ടിരുന്നത് ഇപ്പോൾ അതില്ല.
Chief Minister Oomen Chandy has lobbied for these rubber farmers extensively, who constitute the core of the voter base of the United Democratic Front, but has received only a half-hearted response.
At present we are not getting the proper minimum price. Government has to fix the price in consultation with the farmers, because we are really doing it. So after that, I think fix a price and let us get the price.
Every panchayat for the time being has come up with rubber producing societies who are helping the small and marginal farmers with cultivation, tapping of latex and even marketing their produce, but that's not helping them the way it should.
If the government cannot give a subsidy right away, what the government has to do is let the government give a interest-free loan to the farmers. Suppose the government of India is giving an interest-free loan for 10 years. The immature period of rubber is approximately 10 years. Let them give 5 lakh rupees as interest-free loan for 10 years. We will be happy.
Kerala has demanded stringent enforcement to prevent the misuse of the import for export scheme. The state has also suggested establishing proper testing facilities in designated ports to ensure that cheap quality rubber imports do not kill the robust domestic industry.
There should be a balance between import and export. If the balance is not there, the price will again come down. So then for farmers who have to start planting, the planting subsidy we were giving is only 25,000 rupees as on now. This is to be increased. It comes only less than some 5% of the total cost of cultivation.
Today, the Indian rubber industry consists of a turnover of 12,000 crores, where the annual production varies between 6 to 7 lakh tons. Rubber farmers are demanding an increased minimum support price, which has not come to them till date.
Kerala government has given subsidy to the rubber farmers in the form of cash, which is really not enough. The need of the hour is for the centre and the state governments to sit together to find out immediate remedial measures as far as remunerations and interest-free loans to the rubber farmers are concerned. If that is not done soon, days are not far that the rubber farmers would flee from the scene and cultivation will come to a standstill. This is Neelu Vyas reporting from Kottayam for Rajya Sabha TV.
Time for us to take a short break. On the other side, we'll take a look at the plight of the tourism industry in Puducherry. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
राष्ट्रपति भवन का ताम्र गुंबद आलीशान और बेजोड़। सांची के बौद्ध स्तूप से प्रभावित इस गुंबद की ऊंचाई बाकी इमारत से करीब 2 गुनी। 6 अप्रैल 1929 को बनकर हुआ तैयार। ये शानदार गुंबद राष्ट्रपति भवन की स्थापत्य कला और खूबसूरती को लगाता है 4 चांद।
Welcome back. You're watching Verdict 2016. Let's shift focus now to Tamil Nadu. The single-phase elections in the 231st Assembly constituencies of Tamil Nadu are scheduled to take place next month. The state's capital, Chennai, with 16 assembly seats, is a crucial area which would play a decisive role in deciding the fate of the two main Dravidian parties in the state, the ruling AIADMK and the opposition DMK. Here's more.
Located on the Coromandel coast of the Bay of Bengal, Chennai is one of the biggest cultural, economic and educational centers in the country. Known as the Detroit of South Asia for its automobile industry, the port city has a population of over 46 lakhs and over 90% of it is literate. But today, we are going to focus on the 16 assembly seats in the city that are going to polls on 16th of May. Of the 16 assembly seats in Chennai, the AIADMK has 11 seats in the present assembly. DMK and DMDK have 2 seats each and 1 seat is occupied by the left. The 3 Lok Sabha seats were won by AIADMK in 2014.
Investments are also not coming. In fact, people are going to other states. Employment. Employment is another serious issue which is affecting us. So these are the serious problems as far as this election is concerned.
Around 36 lakh voters will cast their vote in the upcoming assembly elections. The main election issues in the city remain price rise and corruption. While unemployment and sale of alcohol are also important election issues, the devastating rains in the capital last year could also have a bearing on how the city votes on 16th of May.
During the flooded period, people were very upset on the fundamentals not being met and not being addressed at the specific point in time. People are very much affected in terms of economy. So economical point is concerned, the businesses are very down.
The AIADMK is confident of a comeback on the basis of development in the last 5 years. The opposition, however, begs to differ.
Definitely our numbers will increase without the help of BJP. Probably the Dravidian parties, because definitely it is going to be a hung parliament. Anti-incumbency is there, but DMK has not encashed that anti-incumbency. Third front, if the PMK, DMDK, BJP, WASL and all the other parties, as we thought, would have combined, definitely it would have been a challenging alliance, but it has not happened. But because of the five-cornered fight, BJP may encash this situation.
The TMC agenda will always be for the prosperity of the poor people, downtrodden, SC, ST and minority. We will always like to see that the lifestyle of these people in the society develops on a higher way.
While the Dravidian parties and the newly formed Third Front Alliance are confident of winning, the traditional anti-incumbency factor cannot be ignored. With new fronts emerging in the state, challenging the dominance of the AIA-DMK and DMK, the election battle is a tough multi-cornered contest. Ravindra Shoran's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And our correspondent Kriti Mishra is in Tamil Nadu in Namakkal, from where she joins us live right now. To help us understand, Kriti, if we talk about the big issues, what's that on the ground? Because they've ranged from prohibition to the Chennai floods to a whole host of local issues. But if there could be a unifying theme across, is there one?
Well, absolutely right. Prohibition and corruption are huge pole planks here. Development is another agenda because development in the state has been skewed. Some sectors have better amenities and the others do not. As far as the young voters are concerned, they're also looking up to a leader who could articulate their aspirations. So it's going to be a mix of all the factors together, and it's let's wait and watch where these votes actually oscillate. Over to you.
All right, very quickly also, Kriti, if we talk about the preparations for all the major parties, how are they coming along? Because the AIDMK, of course, in a strong position, the BJP hoping to make inroads into the state. But what about the opposition? How are the troops rallying around for the DMK?
Well, absolutely. All the parties are resorting to high-octane electioneering. As far as the incumbent chief minister is concerned, the biggest worry for her would be the anti-incumbency votes. The DMK, again, has resorted to high-decibel campaign. It is very important for the DMK to establish its hegemony because after the Lok Sabha drubbing, it is very important unless if it faces another defeat, then it faces the perils of being reduced to a fringe player. The Third Front and also the PMK as well as the BJP, they're all trying to woo the voters. But as far as the BJP is concerned, the biggest factor that the BJP would have to fight is the perception that it is a North Indian party. Let's see how the political contours in the state are shaped in future. Over to you.
Absolutely. Kriti will keep a track on this political contours for us. Thanks very much for coming in, Kriti, for now and updating us with what's been happening in Tamil Nadu. From Tamil Nadu, let's shift our focus to Puducherry. Now, tourism is the biggest industry in election-bound Puducherry. This time, it has become a big issue with voters who feel the government is not doing enough to promote it.
Located in the southern part of India on the Coromandel coast of the Bay of Bengal and bound by Tamil Nadu is Puducherry. The history of modern Puducherry dates back to 1673 when Dutch, Portuguese, British and French colonists arrived here. A French colony till 1954, Pondicherry was officially renamed Puducherry in 2006.
We should be having foreign tourists coming in, which we have not focused yet. I think there is a major vacuum which we need to grow in that direction. And the government has to play a very vital role with regard to popularizing our destination in the foreign markets, which I think this place needs that push from the government.
Once a quiet, sleepy town, Puducherry banks on tourism as one of the main sources of income. More than 7 lakh domestic and foreign tourists visit the Union Territory every year. However, the absence of an airport is a huge drawback. Political parties also feel that tourism needs a boost for overall development of the region.
I've been hearing that an airport here in Pondicherry would be helpful because we have to come through Chennai. But I think we're enjoying the facilities that are here.
But more facilities will help more people to come.
More facilities will help for more tourists, sure.
This is a union territory. We have limited revenue. We don't have much revenue. So the central government should a lot of funds. That's what I feel. This government revenue is only excise duty on this liquors, which is apart. We get about something like some. But they have to focus most on tourism sector.
ये पूरा बिल्कुल ये सरकार अभी एनआर सरकार फेल है पूरा अब उन्होंने 170 आश्वासन दिया लोगों का ये में एक ही पूरा नहीं किया अभी तक 5 साल हो गया.
During these elections, local residents are renewing their demand for an airport and also a theme park. Demands that could play a major role in deciding the fate of political parties, depending on their stand on these issues. Ravindra Sharon for Rajya Sabha Television, Puducherry.
That's all from us. Goodbye.